Please forgive me in advance. I'm not a writer, and I don't really know how to use Reddit, but my brother loves it and has told me to post. I'm 21, female. I was raised in England, but I'm living in Paris. I speak fluent French because my father is a Frenchie. When I moved over here at the age of 19, I desperately needed a job. I would spend hours and hours going through the local bakeries, searching for job ads, but nothing seemed to come up. One day, I noticed an ad stating that people were needed to patrol the catacombs of Paris. Some background. The Paris catacombs started being used as a mass grave in the 17th century, because the city was running out of places to store their dead. It is 200 miles long, and home to 6 million corpses. Exciting, right? Not for me. I hate any kind of creepy shit, and I'm very skeptical of it all, but I needed money. Paris rent prices are high, ladies and gents. So anyway, I interviewed, passed, and began my job, which was, basically, to help maintain the areas of the catacombs that are closed off to the public. Of the 200 miles, only 1 mile is open for people to visit, but the rest need to be somewhat maintained to make sure that nothing collapses, etc. Another worker, Valentine, introduced himself to me on the first day and said he was assigned to train me up on what my job was. A lot of it involved cleaning graffiti from walls, left by illegal trespassers, making sure there was no severe leaks and that the walls were in good condition, no risk of collapsing. Overall, my job covered roughly 5 miles of the catacombs, the area closest to the public. Something important to note is, once you leave the public area, it is very easy to get lost. If you're not careful, you could turn the wrong way and never find your way out. You're on your own. Therefore, French health and safety laws state that I must attach myself to a rope at the front door of my work site to help me find my way back at the end of my shift. Once my training with Valentine was finished, he returned to working in the public areas. Before he left, though, I remember him saying, "Watch yourself in these tunnels, okay? Don't forget that you're a trespasser here." Weird, but whatever. I started my job. I surprised myself by not actually finding it that weird, being surrounded by millions of human bones day in, day out. I got into a nice routine, arriving at 9 a.m., descending into the tunnel. MP3 player, packed lunch, warm coat, and thick boots. There was actually a lot to do that kept me occupied. I didn't have too much time to think about where I really was. Until one day. It started out as a typical day. I turned up in the morning and went to my tunnel. I know that sounds weird. Attached myself to the incredibly long rope and entered, pulling the door closed behind me so the public couldn't enter. I had a heavy-duty flashlight that became my best friend, and with it, I set off to inspect a leak I discovered the day before. Headphones in and music blaring, I started my journey, which would end almost at the end of my work zone. I got about 1.5 miles in. I paused my music to change songs, and in the sudden silence, I could hear Valentine calling my name. Shit. I hope he hasn't been looking for me for long. I turned around to reply and head in his direction when I noticed something. The rope has been cut. There was no sign of it anywhere. Crap. Crap, 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 crap. I call out to Valentine in a panic, desperately hoping this was some kind of sick joke he was playing on me. After the 5th time I said his name, I was greeted with laughter. A lot of laughter. From a lot of people. It came out of nowhere and filled the whole space. I ran in a blind panic in the direction I had originally come in, dropping my MP3 player, but not giving a damn. I ran for what felt like forever. The sound of laughter surrounded me, almost chasing me. But I knew I couldn't stop. After running for what must have been 20 minutes, I rounded a corner and stopped dead in my tracks. My MP3 player was laying in the middle of the path, where I had dropped it 20 minutes before. It wasn't possible. I had run in the same direction, and definitely didn't do a circle. These tunnels didn't work like that. I slowly approached the player, my breath caught in my throat. I almost reach it when the laughter stopped suddenly, and a sound behind me makes me turn around. I turn, and I'm faced with something that still features in my dreams today. A thin, long creature was approaching me from the shadows, contorting its body, almost dancing across the pile of bones stacked against the walls. I couldn't move. I felt like I was literally glued to the spot, staring at this thing. Its naked body was impossibly pale. It had a head full of black, straggly hair. Its eyes were white and void of any detail, and it was grinning at me in a way that I knew I to know well. The closer it got, the louder the sounds it was making were. It wasn't Valentine whispering my name. It was this thing. It was chanting, faster and faster with every move it made, until its nose was pressed to my nose. I woke up in a hospital, surrounded by worried faces. My parents had flown over from England with my younger siblings. Apparently, the other workers in the catacombs got alerted when I didn't clock out of my shift that evening. When they went down to investigate, they found the door to my tunnel wide open and the severed rope next to it. A huge search party was launched, and they found me 75 miles away, unconscious, covered in a weird, black tar-like substance. When one of the big bosses of the catacombs spoke to me, with the police, to find out what could have happened, I mentioned the first time I heard the voice that I thought it could have been Valentine. I was met with a confused face. Apparently, nobody worked there who was called Valentine. They asked around the team, and nobody had shown me around on my first day or trained me up. They all assumed my team member had done it. By team member, I mean the person who was supposed to work in the tunnel with me at all times, as per health and safety rules. However, upon research, they discovered that nobody had actually been assigned to work with me. I should never have been alone in those tunnels. I don't know what happened that day, and I haven't been back since. Apparently, whatever maintenance needs to be done, now they send down a team of at least 15 people to do it. One thing that still worries me is this. I closed the door behind me when I entered the tunnel that day. The other workers found it open. For the past 5 nights, I have been woken up to the sound of laughter outside my bedroom window, and the sound of my name being chanted hungrily. Hey everyone, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you want to see more, let me know in the comments below, and tell me what you thought of this narration. Make sure to follow me on Twitter for updates, and if you'd like to get early videos, shoutouts, and much more, I'd appreciate it if you check out my Patreon page. It's a place where you can help support my channel while getting awesome rewards in the process, and every pledge helps out a ton, no matter the size. So if you'd like to see all the rewards I offer and consider becoming a patron, it'd mean a ton to me if you'd click the link in the description and just check it out. And don't forget to show some love to the amazingly talented authors who make these narrations possible. Have a good night, everybody. Cheers.